So I've been playing WWE 2K25 over the last couple days, and I'm sure most of you guys are wondering, is it the same exact thing as last year, or are there any actual worthwhile changes? Well, there's some new things that I really like, and there's some things that I really want to rant about. First, there's some changes to this year's game that make it really fun. The addition of the third-person camera, in my opinion, is the best addition this year. It turns boring old entrances that I always skip for the most part into a lot more fun, since I can see these entrances for whatever angle I want, but the real fun comes when using the third-person camera in matches. Going into the game, I don't think this would have been such a crazy and such a big impact on matches, but using the camera, you can pretty much do anything. I can see matches from angles I didn't think possible, and it helps a lot to feel like the match is completely in your control and can be directed however you want. Getting the perfect angle on certain moves, kickouts, and taunts make them look way more brutal, and somehow even prettier than before. If there's a lot of people running around, I can focus on one specific part of the match that I'm more interested in, or I can even zoom out and get the perfect angle of the camera to get everybody in frame. The next addition to the game that I doubted would really make much of a difference was the addition of the Bloodline rules match. Okay, yes, it's just an Extreme Rules match with interferences, but the way it's implemented actually makes it really fun in my opinion. During this match, you can choose when your interferences come out, which kind of adds a layer of strategy to the match because you definitely don't want your teammates to be tired or beat up before your opponent's interferences come in, and you definitely don't want to be getting jumped by 3 guys at the same time. So there's a strategic element to it, to when you want to call your friends up, basically. So during my Stone Cold vs. CM Punk Bloodline rules match, I just got CM Punk jumped by multiple of my friends before he sent out his guys to help him, and that was hilarious. I just wish we could choose who runs in for us before the match starts. I can't confirm this, but I do think it may be based on whoever your allies are in the settings, and I want to have as much control and therefore as much fun during these matches as possible, and not including the option for us to make that a choice seems like a dumb decision to me. The Underground match is alright. I mean, I have a pretty neutral opinion on it. I think I would have preferred the Lumberjack match over it, and I think it really would have been cool to see, the Inferno matchmaker return. The Punjabi Prison would have been an interesting one, and the Championship Scramble match would have been interesting to come back to. But the Underground match does provide the unique concept of no rope around the ring, and it's just an interesting type of match. So I thought it was cool, but I don't necessarily care about it enough to have such a strong opinion on it. Something I was really excited for was the intergender matches making their return to WWE video games. I grew up playing the Day of Reckoning games, and it was always super fun to beat up The Rock with Stacy Keibler. It never made sense to me why they would take that function away, but just having this option opens up a lot of potential matches and fun. While these things are all nice additions, the actual gameplay itself feels pretty similar, if not the exact same as last year. Sure, we have the return of chain wrestling, and you can jump off barricades now, but those are 2 very minor additions for a game, in my opinion, charging me full price. I picked the game up, and it feels like I picked up right where I left off, which in this situation I don't think is that great of a thing. I can definitely see players that play WWE 2K24 a lot being able to time kickouts and reversals super easy just because they were already used to the controls. And that does have a wearing effect to where maybe you don't want to play the game as long, or you get bored of it much faster than you would have normally. The Showcase mode this year is all about the Bloodline, and while for the most part it's similar to other Showcase modes in the sense that, you get to compete for a bunch of objectives as you go through historical matches and unlock some of the WWE's most fondly remembered wrestlers along the way. I had the most fun in the matches that I didn't have too many goals set up, so it wasn't as rigid for me to do, and matches that basically changed WWE history. I wish they took that a little further, and maybe they could have given us some branching storylines with changing histories, and that would have been interesting to get alternative storylines. That would have been really cool, and then that would have given us a lot more matches, a lot more fun in my opinion with this mode. But with that being said, there are about 17 different matches to go throughout the Bloodline storyline, and some are really fun and others are not so much. I did appreciate the fact that there's no more real life cutscenes in the game and everything is rendered with the game graphics in mind, which in my opinion makes it seem a lot more natural. And not to mention, people like me who are trying to, maybe play through it on stream or something like that won't get copyright strike just for having that. Paul Heyman's intros were also fantastic. He's a very talented speaker, and he's the wise man of the Bloodline, so it made sense to include him here. It was only natural. The Bloodline gauntlet at the end was also pretty challenging and fun to me, since I tried it on Legend difficulty. Even though I can't stop losing, it was really fun. Overall, a decent, fun mode, but it's not something I see myself going through again and again after beating it to unlock everything. Once I unlock everything, I'm probably going to focus more on just other modes in general as opposed to this one. I am having a lot of fun with the MyRise mode this year, and honestly, I don't think it has anything to do with the story or anything. I'm streaming it and I'm letting my chat design my characters and decide what paths to take, and well, just take a look for yourself. Mike Hawk has wrestled for the top promotions in the world. This is even worse. The story this year, like most years, it's all right. Like, that's really kind of good, kind of bad, not great. I grew up on the WWE Day of Reckoning games for GameCube, and honestly, I think I prefer those stories. And those games are like 20 years old, and I prefer those over this one. But I'm not too far into it yet, so it's completely possible that by the end my mind is changed. But I do wish they'd bring back similar things to, like, the Road to WrestleMania. That, in my opinion, is WWE peak storyline in games. I don't have too much to say about the MyGM and Universe modes. It's nice that the Universe mode included the return of promos, but everything else pretty much felt the same in my limited time playing, and I got bored. I don't really see a reason to be picking it up and playing it consistently because it just feels exactly the same to me. So if I want to have fun playing it, I need something more from 2K. MyGM mode is usually a fun time if I can play with a friend, so it's only fitting that I think being able to play with people online is a great addition to the series. Now, the only problem is making sure the servers online don't crash. That's pretty much everything I personally went through, but some other things that really grind my gears are the facts that you can't have Bloodline rules matches online, nonsense. There's absolutely no crossplay, even more nonsense, and you can't see current gen's community creations on last gen, and vice versa. I'm a really big fan of community creations, and I love doing my custom creator character matches for you guys. Like, we had our Dragon Ball Z Royal Rumble, we've had our One Piece Royal Rumble, we've done a lot. So it's kind of a shame that all of those last gen creations are kind of locked out for me because I have a current gen version of the game, which is kind of nonsense. Not to mention, the special edition bonuses weren't that great. If you're someone like me and you don't play my faction, I don't think I was really incentivized to pick it up. But overall, I think WWE 2K25 is a pretty good game. Is it worth the full price? Hell no. If I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would have waited for a sale to pick this up 100%. And I'd recommend that you do the same. But with that being said, I do think there's a lot of fun to be had in this game. I just think it's way too similar to last year's. But that is the nature of yearly sports games. A new coat of paint every year, right? So, what do you think about WWE 2K25 so far? What do you like and dislike about it? Let me know in the comments below. Check out these videos if you like my work, and this is Plot Armor Games signing out, and we will see you guys in the next video.